This video is an overview of how to set up your Intex sand filter with saltwater system. Shown here is the 16-inch system. Instructions are the same for all sizes of this product. Setup is simple and easy, but care must be taken to follow all the instructions and recommendations in this video and in your owner's manual. Failure to do so could result in injury or product damage. Please follow these recommendations when setting up your filter pump. Choose the location carefully. Once the sand tank is filled with sand, it will be heavy and difficult to move. The filter pump should be as far from the pool as the hoses will allow. Do not place anything near the pump that might impede the flow of air. Good air circulation is important for motor cooling. Do not turn the pump on unless the pool is filled with water to the proper level. Do not operate the pump when there are people in the pool. You will need an electrical outlet within reach of the power cord, but not closer than 6 feet from the pool. You must be able to plug the pump into an electrical outlet without using an extension cord. Use only a gfci or RCD electrical outlet for safety. If the outlet trips the circuit repeatedly, correct the problem before using the pump. You will also need a Phillips head screwdriver, a level stable platform which is vibration-free on which to place the system, salt, which is at least 99.8% pure, and either number 20 silica sand or glass media. Do not use synthetic sand. Be sure to keep children away from sand and glass media and take precautions against sand and glass dust in the air, which can irritate eyes and lungs. Begin by removing the pump and all accessories from the packaging. Inspect for visible damage, including the laterals at the bottom of the sand tank, to see that they are not damaged. Do not assemble the pump if parts are damaged or missing. For replacement parts, please visit our website at www.intexcorp.com. Place your platform midway between the plunger valves on the pool, as far from the pool as the hoses will allow, so the pump cannot be used to climb into the pool. The platform must be placed on a firm level surface. Place the tank support base on the platform as shown. Then, place the tank on the support base. The tank drain cap should be facing away from the center of the platform. Lower the pump motor assembly onto the tank support base as shown. The water inlet port should face the pool. Some communities require that the filter and pump be secured to the ground. Check your local requirements. Locate the leaf trap pre-filter housing. Unscrew the leaf trap housing collar with a counterclockwise rotation. Remove the cover and O-ring and take out the filter housing nut and basket. Push the leaf trap housing against the water inlet port on the motor until it stops. Screw the filter housing nut onto the water inlet until it is finger tight. Replace the leaf basket. Cover and O-ring. And replace the housing collar. It should be hand-tightened only. Tighten the air release valve on top of the leaf trap. Using your Phillips screwdriver, remove one of the bolts from the clamp at the top of the tank and remove the clamp. Lift the pipe inside the sand tank until you see the minimum and maximum lines on the pipe. The amount of sand in the tank must be between these two indicators. Replace the pipe. The pipe hub should be centered in the bottom of the tank. To avoid getting any sand in the pipe, place the sand shield over the top of the tank. Sand in the pipe will interfere with the operation of the filter. Refer to the chart in your manual for the quantity of media required for your filter pump. Slowly fill the tank with sand, using approximately half the recommended amount. Carefully remove the sand shield to avoid getting any sand inside the pipe. Then distribute the sand evenly in the tank. Add some water to the tank. This will hold the sand in place when more sand is added. Replace the sand shield and resume filling the tank until the sand is between the minimum and maximum marks on the pipe. Remove the shield and again distribute the sand evenly in the tank. Then wipe away any sand from the edge of the tank. Please consult your manual during the installation of the 6-way valve. Improper installation can be hazardous. Carefully lower the 6-way valve onto the tank, making sure that the pipe inside the tank fits securely into the bypass valve on the bottom. There are 3 hose ports on the 6-way valve. Position the valve so that the port with the cap, the drain waste port, faces away from the pool. The water inlet port will then face the motor, and the valve's water outlet port will face the pool. To secure the 6-way valve to the tank, fit the clamp over the lip of the tank and the valve flange. Replace the bolt removed earlier and tighten it with a Phillips screwdriver. Tighten the bolt on the other side of the clamp. Check that the L-shaped O-rings are installed in the motor outlet port and in the 6-way valve inlet port. Attach the supplied short hose to the motor outlet port and the 6-way valve inlet port, tightening the hose nuts at each end. Do not over-tighten. Locate the electrolytic cell. The titanium plate in the cell generates chlorine from salt in the water. The open end of the cell, without threads, is slotted to accommodate a ridge inside the 6-way valve water outlet port. Rotate the electrolytic cell so that the slot is directed downward and carefully slide the cell into the port. The threaded opening in the middle of the cell will be on top. Hand tighten the nut. There are 2 short cables with different types of connectors at the top of the motor. Slide the flow sensor, with the white flag inside, into the top of the electrolytic cell. The receptacle has a ridge, matching a groove inside the plug to ensure that the flag is positioned correctly. Tighten the nut. Attach the other cable to the receptacle on the cell housing the titanium plate. Hand tighten the nut. Attach the hoses between the plunger valves on your pool and the ports on the filter pump. First, slide a hose onto the lower plunger valve on your right and secure it with the attached hose nut. Connect the other end of the hose to the leaf trap inlet port. Tighten the hose nut snugly. Do not over-tighten. Connect the other hose to the upper plunger valve on your left. Then to the electrolytic cell outlet port. Double-check that the plunger valves are closed. The power switch on the back of the pump should be in the off position. The 6-way valve should be closed. The pump must never be turned on when the valve is in the closed position. Pressure buildup could lead to an explosive rupture. When turning the 6-way valve to other positions, the pump must be switched off. Plug the pump into a GFCI or RCD electrical outlet. Open the plunger valves by turning the plunger valve handles counterclockwise until they stop. Remove the cap from the drain waste port at the back of the 6-way valve. Attach a hose to the port. The other end of the hose should lead to a suitable drain. A separate hose is not provided for this port. You may use the hose between the outlet port on the 6-way valve and the upper plunger valve on the left after closing that plunger valve. Once you have connected the hose, depress the 6-way valve handle and turn it to backwash. You must depress the valve handle first in order to turn it. Backwashing is the first step in flushing dirt and air out of your system. Turn the pump on. Water will circulate through the sand and out the drain waste port, pushing out any dirt or trapped air. Continue in the backwash mode until the water runs clear in the drain sediment window, located next to the drain waste port. Turn the pump off. Turn the 6-way valve to rinse. Turn the pump on and let it run for a minute. This will level out the sand after backwashing. Switch the pump off. Remove the hose from the 6-way valve drain waste port and replace the cap. If you use the hose between the pool and 6-way valve, replace it now and open the plunger valve. Turn the 6-way valve to filter. Turn the pump on. Water should be flowing into the pool from the pool upper connector, the inlet jet. You can adjust the direction of the inlet jet by hand. If you see bubbles coming up from the pool inlet, check that all connections are tight. If there is air in the leaf trap pre-filter, loosen the air release valve on top of the leaf trap until water runs out. Then retighten the valve. If necessary, follow the same procedure with the release valve at the bottom of the leaf trap. Note the pressure level on the pressure gauge. The pressure gauge is found on the 6-way valve next to the sediment window. Over time, as the filter purifies your water, dirt will accumulate in the sand and pressure will rise in the tank. Check the pressure gauge frequently. When the needle in the pressure gauge reaches the yellow zone, backwashing will be necessary. Adding salt to your pool creates an electrolyte, which generates small amounts of natural chlorine, keeping your water fresh, clean, and comfortable. Refer to the salt table in the owner's manual for the amount of salt required for your pool. You will need approximately 25 pounds of salt per 1,000 gallons of water. Salt should be 99.8% pure. Turn the 6-way valve to filter. Then switch the pump on. You may now add salt to your pool. Evenly pour the salt into the pool, moving around the pool until the recommended amount has been added. Brush the bottom of the pool to help dissolve the salt. Do not put salt into the skimmer. This can damage or clog the filter pump. Let the filter pump run for 24 hours to ensure that the salt dissolves completely. Use a salt test strip, available from pool supply stores, to ensure you have the right amount of salt in your water. The pump control panel features an automatic timer which will turn the pump on at the same time every day for a set number of hours. Check the filtration table in the manual for the recommended number of hours. The control panel timer must be programmed at the hour of the day you would like the pump to operate. Turn the 6-way valve to filter, then switch the pump on. The green pump indicator will light up and 00 in the LED display window will start flashing, indicating that the keypad is unlocked and the timer is ready to be set. Lift the clear protective cover. Press the timer clock button to set the number of hours from 1 to 12 recommended for your pool. When you have selected the number of hours, lock the keypad by pressing the Unlock Lock button until you hear a beep. After a few seconds, the green working indicator will light up and the system will begin producing chlorine. When the cycle ends, the green sleep indicator will illuminate and code 93 will appear in the LED display. After a few minutes, the system will go into power save mode and the LED display will go blank. 24 hours after the initial start time, the system will automatically restart its daily chlorine-producing cycle. Once your system has been successfully installed, run a boost cycle from the control panel. Press and hold the boost button on the control panel until the LED display flashes 80, indicating that chlorine and electrocatalytic oxidation production have started. The boost cycle is 8 times longer than the programmed chlorine production time. Once completed, the system will return to normal operating hours. You should also run the boost cycle after a heavy rain or any time the pool becomes dirty. Depending on local weather, water conditions, and the number of swimmers using the pool, you may also wish to run the pump longer than the set number of hours. This can be done without reprogramming the timer and can be run for less time than a boost cycle. Press and hold the Unlock Lock button and the Timer Clock button at the same time until you hear a beep. The code FP will appear in the LED display, indicating that the filter pump is working. To restart the chlorine cycle the next day at the programmed time, press and hold the Unlock Lock button until a short beep is heard. The operating hours set previously will appear in the LED display and begin flashing. Press the Unlock Lock button again or simply wait 1 minute and the LED will stay illuminated. We recommend that you test your water chemistry weekly. The included test strips test free chlorine, pH, total alkalinity, and calcium hardness levels. Maintain the chlorine concentration between 0.5 and 3.0 ppm. Chlorine will stop being produced if low water flow, low salt, or high salt conditions are detected. An LED code will flash and a buzzer will sound. 1 hour later, the unit will shut down to protect it from damage. The air code will remain on for 1 hour. Refer to the owner's manual for complete LED codes, troubleshooting, and operational instructions. Before proceeding with any cleaning or maintenance to your pump, turn the pump off and disconnect the power cord. Close both plunger valves. Release pressure in the pump by opening the release valve at the bottom of the leaf trap housing. To clean the leaf trap pre-filter, unscrew the housing collar, remove the cover and O-ring, and take out the leaf trap basket. Remove any debris from the basket by hand or with a garden hose. Then replace the leaf basket, cover an O-ring, and screw the housing collar back onto the trap. It should be hand-tightened only. Close the release valve. Your saltwater system requires little maintenance since the electrolytic cell has a self-cleaning cycle. To maintain maximum performance, it is recommended to visually inspect the electrolytic cell monthly. If there is an accumulation of calcium or other substances on the titanium plate, cleaning will be required. Refer to the owner's manual for complete maintenance instructions. With proper care and maintenance, your Intex sand filter with saltwater system will give you years of clean, fresh, sparkling water.